morning, St. Francis. Good morning, people of God. It is Sunday, the 20th day of March 2022. It is the third Sunday of Lent, and a special morning reflection from me because it is Lenten season, like I said, we were going to do. This is all very different today because I did not get a chance to do this before I got into the car because I am on my way to Burgao. Which, again, shows that North Carolina has as many towns with befuddling names in it as does Massachusetts. Billerica, Woburn, those kinds of things. So we're going to, Bishop Luis and I are going to Burgao. We're not in the same car together, because he's already there because he had to do a morning mass, to do confirmation at 1 o'clock. And so I'm going to be going and helping him out with confirmation today. So it is a nice day to travel. Much cooler than it was yesterday here in North Carolina, and the sun is out, as you can see. Just another short reflection again on this third Sunday of Lent. We are almost to the halfway mark of our Lenten journey. We are in the halfway mark of the 6 Sundays of Lent, the 6th Sunday of Lent always being Palm Sunday. So today, again, if there was a scrutiny, if there was an RCA process, that we would have the first scrutiny. We didn't do that at St. Francis for a number of reasons. It's happening, but it just didn't happen this Sunday. But we hear we hear readings today that should be for the third Sunday of Lent in Cycle C, which is what we're in. So the reading for today, the Gospel in particular, is a troubling one in one way because it's a parable about a man who owns a vineyard and one of the plants is not producing figs. And so he says to cut it down, and another worker says, no, let me tend it for it, and then I will, and then care for it and see what happens. And if it doesn't produce figs, produce fruit or whatever it is, then we can cut it down. And again, a lot of people want to make the connection between the vineyard owner being God and the kind worker who wants to care for the plant being Jesus, and we're the plant that's producing or not producing. Bad all around, because that makes God into a horrible, awful kind of God who just wants to destroy us. And again, Jesus has to intervene to make sure that we're not destroyed. And then if Jesus can't do the job, then Mary comes in to intervene that we're not destroyed. If Mary can't do the job, then saints come in to intervene that we're not destroyed. And it really creates a very problematic theological scenario. So remove that thinking from our minds. The understanding should be that while there are many among us who might want to cut us down or get rid of us because we don't seem to be producing what it seems we should be producing, there are also those among us who may help to cultivate us, cultivating one another, so that we may be able to produce what is necessary to produce, so that, again, what we are called to be and what we're called to do in this world can be achieved. It's a wonderful lesson for Lent. Not a God who punishes because you did not produce something, but really the truth about what it means to stand by with and for each other. Again, this is the example of Christ. It is the example of what Christ taught us. It is the example that we are supposed to follow, of supporting one another, being with one another, enriching one another's lives. This past Wednesday, we had that wonderful exchange between the mother of the sons of Zebedee and Jesus about Jesus wanting to pick favorites and the mother wanting to have her son sit on either side of Jesus. And Jesus says that's a ridiculous request. And not only because, can you work to achieve it, in some ways, so that it belongs just to God to choose that. But the whole understanding that God doesn't choose favorites, Christ doesn't choose favorites. There is room for everyone, everywhere. And again, we make room for ourselves when we help each other to produce. We help each other to flourish. We help each other to fulfill, what it is that God has asked us to fulfill in this world. It is not something that we do ever on our own. We are not lone rangers. We are not islands off to ourselves. We are people who need one another, who work with one another, who love one another, who encourage one another, who journey with one another. Lent is supposed to show us that wonderful beauty again and again and again and remind us of it. That is why that parable exists, and that's a lesson to learn on this third Sunday of Lent. And may the Lord give you his peace.